Hey everybody, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Derling, and once again, we are revisiting an old chart. And this time, I've got a co-host who's never been on here before. I want to welcome Mr. Jerry Beach. Hello, sir.
Good to be here, Tim. Thanks for having me, and I'm really looking forward to this. This will be a lot of fun.
Jerry is a fellow fan in motion. Q T-shirt. Oh, thank you. Fellow big Night
Great
Ranger
book.
fan, and we're both active on Fans in Motion, the Ultimate Night Ranger podcast. Check it out. And and obviously big fans of '80s music. So on this chart, we're going to go back 40 years to the date. We're going to go back to November 23rd, 1985, and count down the top 100 songs with a twist. We're doing the Canadian RPM chart. So I like to do that to my non-American or my non-Canadian friends to throw them for a loop with certain artists that I know they've never heard of and see what they do. No, but there are a few on here. But yeah, this was a time in music. I would have been in grade six, and I was listening to the top 40 radio and listening to the countdowns and watching at this point in time, our Canadian version of MTV, Much Music, wasn't on the air where I lived yet. It was out, but it wasn't on the air where I lived. But any video show I could catch, I was just avid into, consuming all things like pop culture. So this is very much a lot of these songs that remind me of that time. So what we're going to do is, because Jerry is the guest today, I'm going to let him start this chart off at number 100.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks again. I think we're the same age. Says seventh grade for me, so a lot of good memories looking at this chart. So at number 100 is down. Looks like from 81 was "Every Step of the Way" by John Waite. I always thought this guy should have had a bigger career. I know he had a number one hit with "Missing You," number one Bad English, but just such a wonderful voice and such a unique talent. And I'm always surprised that he only had two number one hits. So a great song by John from the follow up to No Breaks.
Yeah, this is a good song that you never hear anymore. I remember
Yeah.
hearing this on the radio. It didn't chart
Yep.
that. I think it's got somewhere into the 20s. Number
Yeah.
99, great Canadian hard rock band. I should have this single, but I don't. Helix from the Long Way to Heaven album, and the kids are all shaken. This week it drops from 77 down to 99.
Number 98 is Communication by the Power Station off the Power Station record. Uh, the second concert I ever saw in the summer of '85.
Oh,
First one was Huey Lewis, who hopefully we'll hear from later in the countdown. Real quick, good. I had the tape at my dad's house in Connecticut. Funny story. We're on the way to the concert, and we're listening to the hot top 40 station in our state, Connecticut, and they're giving tickets away. So whatever reason, man, I think because Michael DeBar was the lead singer at that point because Rob Palmer had gone off to do Riptide. So I think just kind of the record was good, but they weren't doing all Duran songs, and so it just wasn't. They probably bit off when they could chew at that tour. But we had a good time. So Communication, I believe the third single from the record is on its way out from down from 76 and it's 12th week on the chart.
yeah, definitely not as successful as the first two singles from
No.
from that album. And number 97, so we're in November now. I'm kind of surprised to still see this because I think of the summertime when I
Yeah,
think of this song.
same.
Dead or Alive, You Spin Me Around Like a Record this week drops from 70 to 97.
Love that song. And I love was it Brand New Lover was the follow up?
Yeah, that was from like, yeah, the
One of my
next album.
all time favorites. Just
Yeah.
great driving song. Number 96. Well, you said you like getting the new guys, something they never heard before. This is someone named Matt Minglewood, Me and the Boys at a debut, and I'm in the deep end of the pool here, and I've never heard the song, so know
Yeah,
anything about it.
yeah. Matt Minglewood is sort of like a country rock blues. Um, he's just a road dog. He's still out there playing. He's been playing since the mid '70s, and he's from the neighboring province to where I live. I live in New Brunswick, and he lives in Nova Scotia. So, or he's
Okay,
from there, and he emerged in the late '70s, and a lot of songs well, I shouldn't say a lot of songs. One of the songs he's best known for was a cover of "Can't You See" by oh. Marshall
was
Tucker
that
band, Marshall
okay?
Tucker band. So he had a hit in Canada with that, but he's one of those artists. Sometimes he'd get played in the rock, sometimes he'd get played on country
All right,
charts, and seems to me as a songwriter, like well-known U.S. like country artists covered a couple of his songs, but I don't know enough about that. But that's who this is. I'm trying to think of
okay.
somebody to compare him to. Uh, Not really like a George Thorogood, but he's just a perennial rocker up here in Canada.
Yeah, George Thorogood's a pretty good comp. There's some country there. A country twang, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah. Uh,
Not a country guy, but yeah.
So number 95, this is another band I'm sure you've never heard of. The Box from Montreal. So they had songs that were in English and French, and this song, well, it was actually subtitled L'Affaire de Moutier. The song itself is in English. It was called Say to Me, and
Mhm.
it was a video that was quite popular at the time. It was basically a murder case where the guy got off by reason of insanity. And I'm trying to think. I don't. They had an album. They had at least one album that came out in the U.S. on Capitol Records, but a lot of Canadian acts have a hard time, breaking that, getting across the border. But
Yeah.
that's who that is.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's who that is at 95.
Cool. Uh, Number 94, Respect Yourself by Kane Gang. I'm going to pray that that's a cover of the
It
classic soul
is.
song.
It
Hey, I know them. All
is.
right. All right.
Yeah.
So this falls right in
Yeah.
between the covers and Bruce Willis. So, okay. I
Yeah,
know.
no, I that's exactly the song. Yeah, Kane Gang, I
Yeah.
think we're from the UK, and
Mhm.
they had a couple of minor hits, and this was one of them. So yeah, their cover, the
Okay.
Staples singers did it, and a ton of people have done it. But yeah, like in '87, sorry, it wasn't Bruce Willis, it was Bruno, remember?
That's right. The Return of Bruno with a top 10 record. My God. With
Yeah.
Moonlighting. Oh, yeah.
Oh
Crazy.
yeah. Yeah. And that was all even before Die Hard.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yeah. I'm sorry he's not doing well because he was iconic for people our age for sure.
and he didn't have a bad voice. He
He
could
was good. Yeah,
sing. Yeah.
and he had fun with it. You know, he was
That's
kind of
right. He
ironic.
was he was in
Yeah,
on his own joke. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
I'm
he
not
didn't.
sure about Don Johnson. Don took that stuff seriously with Heartbeat.
There's a little bit of yeah. That was a little too earnest, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Bruce like,
but what are you
I just in the last 6 months I've become a superstar. But heck,
what
I'm
are you
gonna
gonna
sing
what are
some
you gonna
soul
what are you gonna
songs.
what are you gonna
Buy my
do?
record.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That was 94, up from 95. That's not a great pace to get to the top 40, so I'm going to assume it probably petered out somewhere around
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Okay, at number 93. This is one that I've got. One of
Oh,
my
okay.
favorite
Cool.
Canadian bands, April Wine,
I know them. I
and
could have got them. Yep. Yep.
Love Has Remembered Me. Now, this is from the album Walking Through Fire, which was the last album that came out before there was an 8-year hiatus. So this was their last album on Capitol Records in the States, and really it was more of a contractual obligation because Miles Goodwin was really the only guy left in the band at this point. Brian Greenway played a little bit on the album. I happen to think this is a really good like mid-tempo ballad because that guy could write really good ballads. It's a very dated in its production. It's got a drum machine. It's got like synthesized sax on it, but there is a good song underneath there.
Mhm.
And because it's holding at 93, again, you can kind of read through the tea
Right.
leaves that it's probably not going to do that well. But I'm gonna
Right.
think it's happen to think it's a pretty good song.
That's the Just Between You and Me band, right?
That's right. Sign of the Gypsy
Right.
Queen. I
Right.
like to rock.
Right.
Yep.
Right. 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 Yep. Number 92, Here I Am Again. Here's the World by Paul Hyde and the Payolas, up from two spots. Calling for a Life Preserver. I don't know this
Well,
song either.
I can tell you right now, you know the guitar player. The
Oh, okay.
guitar player in the Payolas was a man by the name of Bob Rock.
Oh, wow.
As in the producer
I never
Bob
would have guessed
Rock.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Payolas were sort of a pop punk new wavy type of band out of Vancouver. Paul Hyde was the singer, and they did one album under the name Rock and Hyde. As a
Hmm.
duo, but they had some big songs in Canada, but again, they never really broke through. But yeah, Bob Rock was the guitar player in the Payolas, and he was also at the same time he was an engineer for the great producer Bruce Fairbairn, and eventually
Yeah.
ended up
Okay.
producing. So yeah, you may have never heard of the
Wow.
band, but you know who the guitar player is. And as a matter
Sure
of
know his
fact,
work. My
it's
God.
it's this record right here. Here's the world for you. If anybody's ever watched the A Year and a Half in the Life of Metallica home video when they're making the
Mhm.
Black album, and there's a scene where they're teasing Bob Rock by holding up one of the Payolas records. This is the record. This is the record. This is the record where Lars Ulrich says, "Good thing there's no record player here, or else it'd get really ugly."
So at least they didn't like throw a dartboard at it like the Kip Winger picture, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that was yeah. Anyway, uh, a debut this week at number 91. Great song.
Great
Unfortunately, it
song.
didn't chart all that well. But Lover Boy and Dangerous from the album, loving every minute of it. And the interesting thing about this song is that this song appears in another form on the 30th anniversary edition of an album that we're going to be talking about later on in this countdown, because this song was written under the title Reckless. This is a
Oh.
Bryan Adams, Jim Vallance composition, and all Loverboy did was change the title from Reckless to Dangerous, and I
Hmm.
actually think that it sings better with the word with
Mhm.
three syllables. But it's
Right.
very similar to the original version. Great song, new this week at 91.
I always mix up Dangerous with Notorious.
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, no, no. Yeah.
yeah,
So I had to do a double take when I
yeah.
saw that.
Notorious is practically a Bon Jovi song because
Yeah, yeah.
John and Richie co-wrote it.
Around it. Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Number 90 this week. Freedom by the Pointer Sisters, up from 96, off the record Contact, which had to be the follow-up to the one with Automatic and Neutron Dance, right? This
yeah.
was the second record, or
That
the
was called.
follow-up.
Oh, what was that called? Breakout. I
Yes,
think.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Contact. It wasn't as successful, and this song wasn't successful. But this was the follow up to "Dare Me," which was their last big hit.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
So
Good song.
yeah,
I remember Dare Me. I can't lie. I don't. I should know the Pointer Sisters. I don't know Freedom.
I
And
just
it,
remember this is it's a slower song.
okay.
But yeah, number 89. Now this is total. If I didn't grow up watching much music and working in radio in Canada, I would have been totally clueless to this band. Body Electric. Do you think they can tell this? They were sort of. I'm going to compare them to an easy comparison. They were sort of like Go West, pop,
Okay.
pop rock. But yeah,
A little rock there, yeah.
yeah, this is probably the best known song that they had, and this week it's holding an 89.
Okay. Oh wow, we're talking celebrity actors singing. Oh boy,
Oh
number
yeah,
88. Oh
yep.
boy. Number 88, Party All the Time by Eddie Murphy. From the record aptly titled How Could It Be? Down here, I guess I was seventh grade, inescapable earworm. And when you're in seventh grade, it's a pretty good song because Eddie Murphy's funny and he's in R-rated movies, and here he is singing songs on MTV. Hasn't aged all that great, I would probably say. But
He
still a
could
catchy
s- he
song.
could he could
He could,
sing,
he, he could
Yeah,
catch a note. He
yeah,
could carry a note. I think the joke, I don't know if it's entirely true, but I want to say that Rick James bet him that you couldn't make a record if you wanted to. And Eddie said, all right, I'll bet you. And he made the record Rick James producing.
yep,
And he had a couple of hits. How the title track I remember was a hit too. He actually had two or three hit songs during his brief career. And this hit
yep.
number two down here. I think it was held off at Say You Say Me, but I could be wrong. But it
Yeah,
was a huge hit
it was
down.
a big song. It got tons of airplay, and I never, if anybody else was singing it, you wouldn't think twice. Oh, it's just
Right,
it's good
right.
dancey pop
Party
song.
song,
But
yeah.
yeah, at number 87, we have the all-female band Climax with their song "I Miss You," a ballad. They were an all-girl group, and this was from their album "Meeting in the Ladies' Room." This week it climbs from 91 up to 87.
Great ballad. And I remember down here, I think it peaked at number five, but was a number three song for the year. I think in 85 or 86. A weird, quirky thing that someone's having on Billboard, depending on the weeks just on the chart.
I was gonna
It
say
was a bigger hit
it must have been on the chart for a lot, like
for a long time. Yeah.
more weeks, and yeah, that would happen
Yeah.
sometimes.
A
Yep.
very quirky thing. Great ballad. 86. Another good ballad. Life in a Northern Town by Dream Academy. Almost sure they're a one hit wonder. I don't think they had
Yep.
anything after this, at least that hit. But a very melancholy song with a great video. Great melancholy video.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's utterly unique, and
yeah,
if you're gonna have one song, then boy, make it a
make it
song
that.
that's memorable because yeah, it's very unique even for the time. It did not sound like other songs on the
No,
radio, but
no.
yeah, very melancholy vibe, and it was. I just remember when I think back about it now, it came out almost in the winter time, like winter
Yeah,
was on and it's a very
perfect.
wintry song.
Yeah, kind of bleak. Yeah,
Yeah,
cold.
yeah, yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Number 85. Now, I remember the song. It wasn't a big hit, but I do remember hearing it. Howard Jones from his album Dream into Action and Like to Get to Know You Well. Wasn't that big a hit? This week it drops from 69 down to 85.
He's still touring. He's down here on Long Island once a year, I want to say. Where am I? Oh, 84, 84. Tears Are Falling by Kiss from Asylum, holding steady at 84 during their really hair metally phase. Say what you want about Kiss, they knew when to try and change direction. And from Animalize through the end of the decade, they really went all in on the hair metal look. And I love this song. I mean,
Oh, this is a fan. This
it's not a classic song, but I love the song.
Oh, this
I
is
love it.
to me, this is one of Paul Stanley's best
Yep,
because he wrote this himself. This is a great song. It's
I
super
love it.
catchy.
Yep,
You're right. I mean, if you look at Asylum, the front and the back cover, they're
right.
probably collectively wearing more makeup on that album cover than they ever did when they painted their
Yeah,
faces with makeup.
yeah. The only record from that era that might have more makeup is Poison's debut. Look what the cat dragged in.
Yes, yeah, but I almost think that Asylum has more colors, more color
Yeah,
variants.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Poison was just
but
green and white. Yeah.
yeah, at number debuting this week at number 83, this was a fun song.
Yep.
Clarence Clemens, of course, sax player from the E Street Band. You're a friend of mine, and this was a duet with Jackson Brown,
Yep.
and new this
Yep.
week at 83.
Great video with Daryl Hannah in there as well, holding the camcorder.
Yeah,
A fun video, a fun, nice video with a good message. Always like that song.
yeah,
82, Face the Face by Pete Townsend of The Who, of course, from the White City soundtrack, up from 86 to 82. I want to say that was a concept record. I don't
yeah. It
entirely
was
know for
it
sure.
was kind of a concept record.
Yeah,
This is a catchy song, but the thing
very catchy.
that gets me about this is I believe that Simon Phillips is the drummer on
Mm-hmm.
this, but the entire song is just bass snare, bass snare,
Yeah,
bass snare. That's
face to
it.
face. Yeah,
And
yeah,
the discipline to keep that up for 3.5, 4 minutes, however long it is. And I think
yeah,
if you see the video to the song, it's like in a club and it's live. So it's
yep.
even longer and there's
Yeah,
a
that's
horn
right. Yeah,
section.
that's right.
One of
Yeah,
his
yeah.
daughters comes up and sings a verse and they're dancing. So the whole time, boo da, boo da, boo.
Man,
But
the skills
yeah,
they got, man.
a great song. Great song.
I enjoyed that song. Yep.
Number 81. This was a duo, one to one. There was a guy and a girl. I should know their names, but I don't. They were very. It was very pop, almost like maybe Berlin,
Hmm.
somebody like that. There was a time their best known song was a song called "Angel in My Pocket," which I think dented the Hot 100 in the States. But other than that, there was not a lot going on. But there was a time one on one is up to 81 this week from 85.
Okay. Number 80, I remember this song pretty well. Perfect Way by Scritti Politti off the album Cupid and Psych or Psycho? Cupid and Psych. Uh, Only up to three spots here to 80, but it was a top 20 hit, I want to say, in the States.
I think it peaked at
Uh,
number 11 in the States. It's super
yeah, it
catchy
was
song.
super catchy song.
Yeah.
And I want to say that band started out as like kind of like with a political bent. That song, if I recall correctly, did not have a political bent, or at least
No,
it
I
didn't.
mean, yeah, the name Scritti Politti like literally means political writings or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a catchy song. It's got a really cool drum track in it. Yeah, and it's not one you hear that much anymore. Number
No, a true one hit wonder.
79, Holding. I don't know this song. Diana Ross, Eaten
I don't either.
Alive. I do not know this song.
I don't either. I was looking up, before our show, and this came up, and I'm like, well, that must be the record with "Missing You," with the tribute to Marvin
Right.
Gaye. It was after that, and this was after uh, she has not had a top 40 hit since, I believe, "Missing You." Certainly not off this record.
That
And
sounds about right. Yeah.
yeah, and the very quick review I read was not good. Oh,
Yeah.
and like Michael Jackson was on it. If you can have a top 40 hit in 1985 with Michael Jackson's helping out, it's something went really wrong.
Maybe it's time for the oldies circuit.
Exactly, and that's
Yeah.
what she's been doing for 40 years.
Yeah.
So 78, someone who's still going and still going strong, Stevie Nicks debuting with "Talk to Me," just a great song
Good
off
song.
the
Yeah.
LP Rock a Little. I Stevie Nicks can't do much wrong by me, man. Every song is good. Duets are bangers. Her songs with Fleetwood Mac are bangers. Um, I remember this song, like I said, from junior high school, and just Stevie has a way. Just she gets you. You get into the song. She
Yeah.
draws you in between the singing and the kind of the gypsy motif. Draws you in every time. Great singles collection
Yeah,
with that great
this
six.
was a I think this was a top five single in the States anyway. And I just
Yep.
the video I remember was like she was on a big stairway.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Going
yeah,
down. Yeah. Looking
yeah,
downwards. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Very
Num
mysterious as always.
Number 77, the second song in this countdown called Freedom. This, of course, is
Oh,
Wham, the fourth single from the Make It Big album. This week it drops from 72 to 77. An interesting fact about the song, the Wham song Freedom, that I saw a reel on Instagram and somebody mentioned this, and I can't believe I never noticed it before. But you know the beginning of Faith where it starts in with like the church organ.
Mhm. Yep.
It's playing the melody of the chorus of Wham's Freedom, really slowed down. But if you know that, keep it in mind, and then you
Starting to
listen to it
hear
and
it.
you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah. So
Huh,
that blew my mind. I was like, that is such a
that's
nice, that
crazy.
what a cool touch to throw in.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in his solo career, he had his own song called
Right.
Freedom or Freedom 90.
A free money. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess
to differentiate.
now he had real quick. I know because I Want Your Sex came out before Faith did, but Faith was probably the lead track off the record, right? So it's probably his way of saying paying homage
Yeah,
to
I
Wham.
think that it was very intentional.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I can't wait to listen to that tonight.
yeah.
Number 76. I can show something in my collection here. The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. This is off a compilation. My wife's about 50 feet away from me. This is the first CD I ever bought for her, and we started going out in 1995. And this is the top 10 songs from that year. And Power of Love is finished at number 4. And there's some others. We'll pop this out a few more times during this countdown.
Yeah, you're gonna
But
get
I
some
mean,
use out of that.
yeah, this is great. Like I said, a fun story for me and my wife. And Power of Love is just, I mean, just Sports was a big album, hit number 1. But no, the singles all did great, top 10. I think it all hit number 6 or something like that. But he didn't have the number 1 song. And so then, you know, can you write a song for a movie? And I think he said, I don't have a song for a movie. They said, he said, I'll give you the song I have, and they put it into the movie. Biggest movie of the summer by a million miles.
Yeah.
It's an iconic movie. It's 40 years old this year. Still an iconic movie. Still an iconic song. And just the perfect timing for a guy, an artist that was cresting. He needed one more little push, kind of become superstars, and that's Power of Love. Great song. People love it to this day. Great movie. Great song. Perfect combo.
Yeah, I can still remember the whole family went, my whole family, we all went to see that in the theater
Yep.
that summer, and it was just fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Such a fun movie.
number 75. This is just a great pop
Yes.
rock song. Phil Collins, one of the many hits from No Jacket Required and Don't Lose My Number. What I
Mhm.
remember also about this was the video that was really funny because
Hilarious
the whole
video.
video was about what are we going to do for the video. And
Yeah.
it ended up being a little bit like David Lee Roth, California Girls, where it was sort of
Yes.
poking fun at other
Yes.
artists. Phil does a sequence just like Elton John and I'm Still
Yep.
Standing. And then but my favorite part by far is the midsection where he's talking to somebody, his manager or something, and
Yeah.
he's stuffing his face with a sandwich. The manager is, and he goes, "Who's playing guitar?" And Daryl
Right.
Starmer. Great sandwich. Like
Yeah.
I will never forget that. It's just so funny.
And then he
But
slaps the chest. Oh, fake
yeah,
blood. Isn't it
yeah,
great? A
yeah.
top 10 video
It
for sure.
Yeah. No, great song.
Love it.
Great song.
Awesome song, awesome video. No, nobody, few people got the medium like Phil. Phil made funny videos. Phil made memorable videos, and that's why he was omnipresent for so many years in the mid to late '80s. The guy just
Oh,
got the medium.
yep.
He was awesome. Number 74, a nice comeback song by the great and unfortunately late Aretha Franklin, Freeway of Love. Our second Clarence Clemens reference because he played
Yeah,
sax
that's
on
right.
this
I
as well.
mean, unmistakable. As soon as the sax
Yep.
starts ripping in that song,
Yeah.
it's the big man. Yeah.
Yep. Great song. I should also top of my head and I don't. I want to say it was her biggest hit since Respect. I could be wrong. But
It was definitely her first big hit in a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she had a top 15, I think, down here. Then she had Who's Zooming. I'm sorry, that was a top 5 hit. I'm sorry. Who's Zooming Who's like a top 15 hit. And then she had one of the great songs of the 80s later on to kind of cap it off with George Michael. I knew you were waiting. So this kind of
Right.
starts her
Yep.
her second stint.
Yep.
Great song, great lady, and it's moving. I'm sorry, it's falling down, which makes sense because that was a summer of '85 song. So
Yeah.
down to 74 from 65.
Yeah. New this week at number 73 from her album Seven the Hard Way, Pat Benatar with Sex as a Weapon, which I have that greatest hits. Unfortunately, it's
Yeah.
not on there, but it was a
Oh,
great
it's not.
song.
Oh, geez.
No, I think it hit like 28. It wasn't a huge hit, but it was a rocker,
Yeah.
and it was sort of like Invincible had come out earlier than that from the Legend of Billie Jean movie, and I think it's on
Great
that
movie.
album, but this was the first actual single from that album. But this was the first album that there really weren't any other big hits on it.
Yeah.
So it was sort of
Yeah.
this
It's kind of sort of it was sort of like start her decline.
because she'd been on such a huge run, right,
Yeah.
from '79 onwards. So,
Couldn't miss. Yeah. And I think
yeah,
this was This was after she had her kids, and I think it's the vibe
The
I get.
album, yeah, the album started to become farther and farther apart too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think she and Neil are more focused on raising their family. God, they're still together with a rock and roll
I
marriage
know.
that lasted.
I admire that. That's
I do
amazing.
too.
Yeah.
And they're from Long Island, so big fan of Pat. Number 72, uh, if every boy's crush in the '80s, Sheena Easton with "Do It for Love" off the record "Do You." I don't remember this song. I remember the '84 songs,
I
the Strut
I
and
I vaguely
Sugar Walls.
I vaguely remember this song, but it wasn't a big hit. But I listened
Yeah.
to the radio all the time. Number 71. This is a special song for me because this is one of my favorite bands, and this is the first song I ever heard by them.
Oh wow. Oh
Rush, the
wow.
Big Money.
Oh
And
wow.
and this
Iconic.
song actually went all the way to 45 on Billboard, so it was almost a
Yep.
top 40 single. That would have been their second.
Yep.
This week in Canada, it's up. I think it's up from 78 to 71. We're looking at a scan of
Yep.
a magazine in case anybody's wondering. So sometimes it's a little blurry and the
They're
numbers are
small.
small.
That's right. That's right. Number 70, debuting. Is it the highest debut of the week? I think it is. Spies Like Us by Paul McCartney from the same movie. Obviously, the movie the same name. I wonder if Paul likes this song because it's a little goofy.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it at the
I
time,
do
and I
too.
thought it was funny that, Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase were obviously in the movie. They're in the video with
Right.
Paul, and they're
Right.
the band. I
Right.
mean, it's kind of a rocking song. It's got some cool guitar parts in it, but yeah, it's, ooh, ooh, what do you do? Like it's kind
Right.
of there's nothing wrong with it, but it's almost like sometimes it's like you're given a title, like what am I going to do with the title "Spies
Right.
Like Us"? But anyway, such
It's
is
funny.
such
It's funny.
as.
Such as life, right? It's funny we get this song in the same 10 songs as Power of Love because he was like, I don't have a song called Back to the Future. So they made Power of Love work,
That was
right?
probably the best thing they could have done is
Yeah.
not tried to be so literal.
Right, right.
Number
Huh.
69. This was from
That's a good one.
a live album that so Daryl Hall and John Oates did this live album called Live at the Apollo, and this was a medley of a couple of Temptations classics, The Way You Do the Things You Do, and My Girl with David Ruffin and Eddie Kendricks.
Yep.
And things were never quite the same after this for Hall and Oates,
No, no.
really.
I no, and surprised me because like there's nothing wrong with this. It's a great medley. It's two great soul artists, blues, R&B soul artists. I don't know why Hall Notes started to kind of after that. I guess after a few years you start to lose a little
Well, and
steam.
they
But
had such a run, like such a
incredible
crazy
run.
run with albums that each had three or four songs off each one of
Yep,
them and almost one a year. So, I mean,
yep. At some point you got to run out of gas a little bit. And now they don't like each other, which really stinks.
it's,
So
yeah.
I
Yeah,
hate
there's
that.
sometimes I really, we don't need to hear all that dirty laundry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I really hate that. I hate that
Yeah.
they're not young. I mean, they're 50, whatever, fine, but they're
Well,
in their late 70s. Like,
this is what, I always think, you're really going to take that with you to the grave.
I know, I know,
Can't you just let it
I know,
go? Like say, hey,
I know.
it's all. uh,
But anyway, on a happier note, number 68, the Hooters, and we danced off the record "Nervous Night," which it's a tape. I got this tape as well as Live at the Apollo back at my dad's house. I really like the Hooters, and I'm a little surprised they kind of were a one album wonder. I guess maybe because they're a little eclectic, right? They had a little mandolin, a little accordion.
But
Um,
catchy. Like this, what a catchy
Catchy as
song.
heck,
Yeah.
yeah. And a happy song, Day by Day was happy, and then they did a couple serious songs off that record with "All You Zombies," which I think is a great evocative
Yeah.
song. And was it "Where All the Children Go"?
With Patti
But man,
Smythe.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They were
Yeah.
inescapable for a year, and I really thought that was like a band that was kind of positioned to have a big second or big follow up record, and it never really happened. But they had four top 40 singles off of a record. It's a pretty darn good
Yeah.
pretty darn good run.
Yeah.
And a great happy song, a great video.
Number 67, up one notch. Now, this was a band out of the UK that was one of those critically acclaimed bands. I don't really know who you'd compare them to. Prefab Sprout, When Love Breaks Down. I vaguely remember seeing the video to this song, so I kind of know how it goes, but they never really broke that big in North America.
Okay. Um, Number 66, staying holding steady for 11th week on the chart is "Sunset Grill" by Don Henley. Really good song. I think it was it the last single off the record? I think it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, they did "None Left in the World" before that. Yeah, yeah, fourth single, "Boys of Summer." All She Wants to Do Is Dance before that. Just and I think Patty Smyth's on this one too, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Just a cool, evocative song off a record that just was Billy Perfect Beast was just a big record out of the box. Boys of Summer and the Great Bits of All Time, and the subsequent singles all were worthy to that. And I was surprised this one wasn't a bigger hit. I think it was top 20, maybe 30 down here. But
Yeah,
again, it's a fourth single, so
I have to think sometimes the record label just goes, look,
yeah,
we've made our nut on this one.
right.
You
We've
know,
sold
let's
5 million records.
just throw it out. And I don't even think there's a video for it. So that shows you that
No,
they really weren't serious about promoting it.
right, right.
Um, Number 65, and talk about another big soundtrack song. And like Huey Lewis and the News, she had just come off a huge album, and for her, it was an enormous comeback.
Yep,
Tina Turner with Private Dancer. She had 4 or 5 big hit singles off that album. And then to cap it off, sort of that cap at the end of that run, she has We Don't Need Another Hero from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, which she also
yep,
starred in. So it was that perfect media crossover. And I think
yep.
that song went all the way to number 2.
Yep, yep. She just missed out on her
Yeah.
second straight number one, or and then
So this
the follow up to that was even the hard rocking song "One of the Living," just an incredible rocker.
Yeah, that's one you don't hear. That was like a
Yeah,
top 15 or something.
yeah,
Um,
great song. That might be on this
so
countdown too, right?
so that's at
Good thought.
65. No, I don't think
Yep,
One of the Living would have come out until later.
yep, yep. Oh, it is in the countdown. It is. It is. It is.
Oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, way up. No
okay.
spoilers, but it's coming up.
Cool.
64. God, this could not have got a bigger song to be in seventh grade. Motley Crue, "Smoking in the Boys' Room," down from 55 after 20 weeks on the charts. From Theater of Pain. Crue was pretty big with "Shout the Devil," but that was a kind of they were, I don't know if you remember, but that record had the warning on it:
Oh
may
yeah.
contain backwards masking, and
Yeah.
they're Satanists, and so they
Yeah.
came on went completely our direction with this. They got the makeup back, not quite Kiss levels or Poison levels, but they had a lot of makeup on. The funny video with the guy from the Goonies as the
Yeah.
principal, and they went totally pop metal with this, and of course, Home Sweet Home later. So this was, Crew. I find them polarizing these days, but God, Nikki Sixx knew the marketplace. This is the perfect time to make a popish metal record, and we're gonna
Yeah.
just be friggin' superstars. And
You know
this was the one.
this is actually the first song I ever heard from Motley Crue. I'd seen
Yep.
pictures of them. They scared me
Right.
to death.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the first time I actually heard what they sound like. I think this song peaked at 17 or something. It
It's a
did
pretty big
really
hit in
well.
America. Yeah.
Did really
Yeah.
well for them. At number
Yep.
63, Canadian band. They never really broke big in the States. The Headpins. They were sort of a hard rock band, but they had a female lead singer named Darby Mills who had like one of a really high raspy voice, and so they had a pretty good run of success in Canada, but they never really broke into the States. And their song "Staying All Night" is down from 52 to 63 this week.
Yep. Um, Excuse me. Number 62, holding for another week is "Blue Kiss" by Jane Wiedlin of the Go-Go's from her self-titled. I have to imagine her solo debut. Not gonna lie, I don't know this song. I knew
No,
the second record she had out had a top 10 hit, "Rush Hour,"
Rush Hour.
in
Yeah,
'89 or
I don't
so.
know. I don't know this song either. Yeah, 88. She had
Yeah,
Rush Hour, which is a
"Rush
top
Hour"
10,
'88. Yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't know this song.
So she had to be. If this is '85, right? She had to be the first woman in the band to have a solo record because Belinda didn't come out
I
till
would.
'86.
That's right. I think you're right about that because they put an album out in '84, the one with Head Over
Right,
Heels,
head over heels.
but
Right,
that was
right,
it for until they got back together.
right, right,
Uh,
right.
Number 61. I think it's down from 53. I think that's a
Yep,
five.
yep. It
Roger
is.
Daltrey from his album Under a Raging Moon and After the Fire. Under a Raging Moon had also had a great version of Let Me Down Easy, which was another song
Yep,
that Brian Adams and Jim Valance wrote that's on
that's right.
the
That's right.
Reckless edition. So, yeah, I do remember After the Fire. I think it peaked at 48 in the States. It was almost a top 40 single. I think the idea of it calling Under a Raging Moon, I think it was dedicated to Keith
Right.
Moon. And I think
Yep.
Roger Taylor from Queen plays on some of it. And,
Yep.
so that's at 61 this week.
Yep. I didn't know that about the Keith Moon connection until many, many years later. But yeah, that's definitely the case with that. 60, I'm going to volley this one back to you. "Crying Over You" by Platinum Blonde from the album Alien Shores. You had told me that they were a mix between, I can't remember what you're saying now, Def Leppard and somebody, I think you said.
Okay, so yeah, Platinum Blonde were a huge band here in Canada from about 1984 to 1987. I mean, practically a
Mhm.
household name. Yeah, they were sort of new wavy, but they had like jagged, like distorted guitar. So I kind of compare them to a cross between Duran Duran and Def Leppard. So
Okay.
so Crying After You was by far their biggest single. This was a number one song here in Canada. The guitar solo on this song is actually played by Alex Lifeson of Rush.
Oh,
And
it's pretty good.
Eddie Offord, who produced a lot of Yes albums, he produced the first Billy Squier album. He produced
Mhm.
this album, Alien Shores, and it was 4 or 5 times platinum in Canada. Like I said, they were a huge band up here, but they couldn't get arrested in the States. And they're still around in some form or another, touring. Like they had a hiatus, but yeah, if you grew up in the '80s, like and you were my age, like you knew who Platinum Blonde were. Like they were a huge band. Like you'd get kids that liked Duran Duran and the Police, and they liked Platinum Blonde. It was very much in that sort of vein.
That's cool. Uh, no, 259.
Yeah.
Yeah.
59, John Cafferty, technically John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Yep.
This is the second single from their album Tough All Over because the title song was the first single. This
Yep.
is CITY, which is sort of a fun little, they sing it out, they spell it and see, they
Uh,
almost their
uh,
version of
YMCA.
YMCA.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
of course, John Cafferty, best known for On the Dark Side from Eddie and the
Right.
Cruisers, and basically being, the house band, right? The band that
Right.
provides the music. But yeah,
Right.
they did have a couple hits that weren't on that soundtrack, and this was one of them. I think this ended up being like a top 20 single in
Yeah.
the U.S. This week, I think it's down from 50 to 59.
Yeah, he had just like a 18-month run from he went from like bar guy in Rhode Island to Eddie and the Cruisers, became a big hit in HBO. Soundtrack went to top 10, and he had, as you know, this follow-up record which had a couple of hits. So a pretty cool story, and he's still touring. He toured the states this summer with Rick Springfield, John Waite, Wang Chung, and someone forgetting. So God bless him. He's still out there.
Yep.
He has enough songs to play a set like that. 58, our second two-time song here, "The Power of Love" by Air Supply, off the record Air Supply. Shout out to our fellow fan in motion, Lance Rushing. I saw your show
Oh yeah, yeah,
talking about Air
yeah.
Supply, and like I couldn't I nodded so much when you talked about his parents listening to Air Supply that my head almost fell off, because that song, like, Air Supply is not a rock band, but like in 1981 in the backseat of your parents' car, you're hearing Air Supply. So I
Just if
always
the
kind of like,
radio was on, you were hearing Air
yeah,
Supply. They were
yeah,
they were they were omnipresent. But
yeah. So
yeah,
I always liked Air Supply.
this was one of several versions of this song that
Yes.
that
Oh,
was
yes,
recorded. I
yes.
mean, Jennifer Rush, I think, did it first. A
Yep,
couple years after this, Laura Branigan would do
yep,
it, but of course,
yep.
leave it to a
Celine.
Canadian, Celine
Right,
Dion, to make it.
right,
That's
right.
where most people know it. But I mean, it had
That's
its
right.
roots back here. So yeah,
Yep,
there were like two versions of the song on the chart at some point in
yep,
time at the same time.
yep,
Number 57, Billy Joel and The Night is Still Young. This was the second of the two new songs from his Greatest Hits 1 and 2 album. And so this was the follow-up to his song You're Only Human. I like this
yep.
song. It's not one that you hear anymore, but
Agreed.
it was kind of a cool song. This week it's down 48 to 57.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Long Island guy. That's where I live. So we love the guy. And that record, longest Innocent Man, was such a big record that it was still spitting out singles when the Greatest Hits came out. So he needed the Greatest Hits Volume 3 to finish off the long get the what was the song? Keeping the Faith, which is the
Yes.
last single off of
Yep.
Innocent Man. Such a monster record.
Yep.
And we love Billy on Long Island. 56, Talk Talk by Arrows. Is this a cover of Talk Talk?
So, um,
I
no,
should know that, but I don't.
I know what you're thinking. I think you're probably thinking this is the song that Alice Cooper did. No,
No, I
no,
was thinking there's a band called Talk Talk, and they had a song called Talk Talk.
no, it's not that either. But
Okay.
Alice Cooper, so Alice Cooper on his Flush the Fashion album, which is one of his weird '80s, early '80s blackout period albums, he does a song called Talk Talk that was originally recorded in the '60s by a band called Music Machine, which
Oh,
even weirder bit of trivia, a member of that band was Keith Olsen, who went on to become a famous
oh,
producer. But
for certain great
no,
bands. Yes.
yeah, and also that's right. And
Yeah.
also, this is not the same band, The Arrows, that was the UK band that originally did I Love Rock and Roll. Different
I was
band
just gonna guess
altogether.
that.
This
Wow.
was sort of a new wavy rock band out of Canada that had, I think they only did two albums in like '84 and '85. Um,
Mhm.
but this song here in particular, I do remember hearing it quite a lot, very much of its time. But a couple of years later, this song was also covered by Greg Raleigh, who was
Oh, okay.
Journey,
Journey.
Santana.
Right.
So he had a couple solo albums in the 80s, and the second one I think was called Gringo. And he does a
Okay.
version of this song Talk Talk on it, which
Mhm.
is very similar. But it's a
Mhm.
cool song, and yeah, but never got any play anywhere in the States.
Okay.
Number 55, big jump up from 73.
Yeah.
So Sting and Love is the Seventh Wave. This was the third single from
Right.
the Dream of the Blue Turtles album. This one had kind of a reggae feel to it.
Yeah.
And I remember that he kind of spoofs himself at the end of it because he
Yes.
starts singing like every breath you take, and at one point he says every cake
That's
you
right.
bake.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not one of his songs that gets a lot of recurrent airplay these days.
What a monster record that was. My God, we
Yeah,
got another Sting song coming up, and then we weren't that far removed from "If You Love Someone, Set Them Free."
that's right.
Uh,
Yeah.
54, another great song. It was a big jump up. Up from 74, "Sisters Are Doing It for Themselves" by the Rhythmics with Aretha Franklin, her second song on the countdown. This is off the, I believe this is on the Rhythmics record, "Be Yourself Tonight,"
Yeah, there's a mistake
which
here in this listing. It's got it
says
listed as
concept.
if it's
Yeah.
on the Pointer Sisters album, but yeah, it was on the Eurythmics "Be Yourself Tonight" album. I don't know if it was on Aretha's album too. They were on the same
I don't.
label, or they
Yeah,
were
I think
no, she was
Aretha's
on
Arista,
Arista,
right?
but they were
Yeah.
associated. But yeah, I mean, it was yeah, it was quite an anthem, and
Great
yeah,
song.
yeah,
And like that was a great record. Kind of like the Rhythmics, you know, Annie was in the androgynous phase. Those previous records, and this one she kind of amped it up a little bit with the great lead single, "What I Lied to
would
You,"
lie to you,
and
yeah.
this one, great singles off that record. Great band, totally deserving the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Always like them.
I think it proved that there was more to them. They weren't just your regular
Yeah,
synth band. They were very
right.
versatile. Yeah.
Really talented, super talented.
Number 53, down 6 places. Godley and Cream, Kevin Godley and Lowell Cream, and the song is "Cry" from the
Love
album
this
The
video.
History Mix, Volume One. Yeah, it's a mid-tempo ballad, but it's mostly remembered for it was a black and white video, and it was a really early example of face morphing techniques where one face goes into the other. So it was like it would come on and you couldn't not watch it. So
So
subsequently
awesome.
you'd get the song in your head. But I mean,
Right.
Godley and Cream were also at that time were mostly known for being really well-known video directors. Like they
Yep.
directed a ton of videos for people. They were also members of 10cc. So yeah, they
Yep.
had quite a pedigree behind it. But this song is one of the most unique to come out definitely that year.
Yep.
And I still and Lance and I talked about this on an earlier episode. It would just laugh at the end of it when you get that really
Yes.
high pitched cry. I can't even
The
think that high that they must
I
have
know.
airspeeded it.
Yeah. And the guy crying at the end, the old man
Yeah,
crying.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
always
yeah.
thought one of the guys in that video was Rick Moranis, but it wasn't. It was just some guy with
Does it look
glasses.
like yeah, yeah. And Beavis and Butthead made fun of that one. I remember that one
Oh,
very well.
yeah.
Love that. Still love that's one to me, one of the underrated iconic videos of the whole era. Because it was a big hit, top 20 hit, but not like it wasn't money for
No, it
nothing.
wasn't a smash. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That right. Yeah.
Yeah. Great video. Speaking of great videos, number 52 from the Cars,
Yep.
Tonight She Comes, the one or two new songs on their greatest hits. Um, Another band that got the medium, and that record, Heartbeat City, had just so many great videos.
Yeah.
You might think Magic Drive, which is still a creepy video to this day, and
Yeah.
Hello Again with the great Andy Warhol. This song, this song is funny because like when you're in seventh grade, you don't know what it's about.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But if you listen to the song now and you especially watch the video, the Cars had a pretty funny sense of humor.
Yeah,
And
it
they
was
were a little,
subtle. Yeah, it was
yeah,
subtle, but it was yeah. But what's cool about this song? It's a great song. But what's cool about this is this was actually a new song on the Greatest Hits album that
yep,
was a
so
hit.
cool.
It was a
Yeah,
legitimate
top 10
hit.
hit. I think it's
Yeah,
number 7.
yeah. So it was,
Yeah.
it was true to its word.
Yep, they had 2 new songs on there, and that was, I think the other one was "I'm Not the One."
Well, I'm not
And,
the one. I'm pretty sure was originally from Shake It Up, but they just
shoot, you're right.
they
You're right.
remixed it or something. I didn't know that
Yeah,
either. I didn't know that was an older
yeah,
song. But
yeah.
Tonight She Comes was the bigger hit of the two. Number
Great song.
51. Now this is an interesting song, and it's one of those ones where I dug it up like I totally forgot about this. The singer's name was Doug Cameron. The song's called Mona with the Children. This is not exactly a party time song. This
Oh,
was based on an actual event. He wrote the song about a girl that was murdered for her beliefs and refused to renounce them. And like I said, not exactly party time material.
no,
Don't think it did
no.
anything in the States, but this week it drops from 46 to 51.
I looked it up this afternoon, and I was like, "Whoa,
It's
that's like
heavy.
you said,
It's
yeah, it's
heavy, heavy
heavy,
subject matter. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and much heavier than you talked. I think on countdowns, but the song 19, which is a
Yeah.
cool, quirky song. Not I was like quirky, but it's a serious song. This one
I
did not have
thought you
any.
I thought you were going to say it's much, much more serious than Tonight She Comes.
No, well, that too, that too. Can't
Yeah.
get much different songs than that.
Yeah.
Um, Number 50, I get to show a cassette.
Right on.
Samuel's Fire, Man in Motion. Only the second best song called Man in Motion history, but it's still a pretty good
Aha.
song.
Yeah. That's right.
By John Parr, off obviously the Samuel's Fire soundtrack. And like there are certain songs when I was a kid, and you might probably it's at 50, halfway home, down from 32. Down here is a peak. It peaked at number one. There's certain songs you hear when you're a kid, like that's gonna be a number one hit. Like that
Yeah.
just felt it out of the box. It was gonna be in a summertime movie. The Brat Pack was in it, and just had the bombast of it. John had a minor hit in late '84, Naughty
Naughty,
Naughty.
naughty. Yeah.
So he wasn't an unknown, but you could just feel, and that was a perfect like movie song for 1985. He was in the video with the actors,
Yeah.
and I just heard the song. That song is going to number one, and
Yeah.
the soundtrack has two great songs after that. But man, what two great songs it is! We'll get to the other one later on, and it's from a movie that wasn't great at the time, but I can't not watch it when it's on.
It's interesting, but John Parry, I always wondered if he was one of the guys that was under consideration for Foreigner, because I always thought he
I can see
sounded a
that.
lot like Lou Graham.
So, I
He
can see
was
that.
already signed to Atlantic Records.
Yeah. Are you talking about
And
Unusual Heat?
yeah, like I
Yeah, yeah.
always wondered because I can remember all the way back. I can remember listening to the radio distinctly when Naughty Naughty came out. I remember a DJ saying, when I first heard this, I thought this was the new Foreigner because I knew Foreigner had a new song coming out. And I'm like,
Right.
I hear it.
Yeah.
He's
Wow.
and
I never
and
thought about that.
so anyway,
That's
uh
interesting.
at number 49, this guy was huge in Canada. He was one of the biggest stars. At one point, he and Brian Adams were like neck and neck for popularity.
Wow.
Corey Hart and the title song from his second album, Boy in the Box. This week it drops from 44 to 49. I remember reading a review about it, just somebody who was talking about 80s music in general. They said, he had some great songs, but this one I can't get past when he goes, one, two, you can't get enough, three, four, six, five. Like you can't just reverse the numbers to make it rhyme.
That's how they're numbers for a reason. That's how they happen. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. I don't remember that part. I know. So this was the second record or the first
This is
record?
the second. This was the second. First Offense was the first album with
Okay.
Sunglasses at Night and It Ain't
Okay.
Enough.
Okay. So Never Surrender preceded this one then.
Never Surrender was a big summer hit. This was
Yes.
more of a
Yep.
fall. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll
Okay.
be hearing
Well,
from him again in not
that's
too
right.
long. Yeah.
That's right. 48. I wish I could have gotten a copy of this because it'd be cool. Uh, Billy Crystal, you look marvelous.
Marvelous.
Off
Yeah.
his mostly comedy record, but this was a song. This was A, again, another Long Island guy, so I'm very fond of him. But B, this was right in Billy's starting to peak era, right? He had done Soap, SNL. This was after SNL because he had done the character there, but before City Slickers, Harry Met Sally, Running Scared. Running Scared is next year, '86,
Yeah.
when he and Gregory Hines team up as cops with the great Michael McDonald soundtrack. So
That's
this is
right.
kind of
Yeah.
cool. This is kind of cool because you can see Billy Crystal's a well-known guy, but he's not Billy
Uh,
Crystal, who's going to
Honestly,
host the
I
Oscars a
think
thousand
this when
times.
I saw this video, I thought this was the first I'd ever heard of him. So
Yeah,
I don't think I realized he was an actor
yeah, like he
until
done good
later.
stuff down here, but Soap was kind of a cult TV show.
I've heard
SNL,
of it. I've heard of it.
yeah,
I don't even know if
yeah.
I don't know if I've ever watched it.
It
So
was on in the
was it
'70s.
was it a was it a spin-off of another show or did a show spin off
No,
of
I think it was a parody of soap operas. It might have spun off
Oh,
Benson. It might
I
have spun
remember
off
yeah,
Benson.
that's
Yeah,
kind of what was in the back of my head. Like there was
yeah,
something to do with Benson, but yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But so Billy. I mean, Billy's now is he's just a huge star. He still is a
Yeah.
huge star. Like Billy Crystal's a guy to stop what you're doing and see what he's doing. He and Meg Ryan did the Super Bowl commercial last year.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like he's starting to just crest that. He's like, word again. He's starting to really
I
go
think
up
of
and he's never really come down.
I think of he's got such a distinctive voice too, because having young kids, I think of him from Monsters Inc. Mike
That's
Wazowski.
right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
You're
He's great. What a
not
career.
listening.
What a
uh,
career. What a
yeah.
career.
So
And this
number
is his hit.
47. Yeah, number 47. This is cool because I remember didn't know this was a cover at the time. This is the first I'd heard of this band. Love and Rockets and
Yep.
Ball of Confusion. This is up big jump, 59 up to 47. I think this did better in Canada than it did in the States, but I remember seeing this. I did not know it was a Temptations song. And so this is where I first heard of Love and Rockets. Now they were huge in '89 with So Alive, but I
Yep.
think of this song when somebody says Love and Rockets. This is the first song that comes to my mind is their version of this because it's kind of punky, it's kind of trashy sounding, but it's a cool song. It's got the really fast lyrics, the back and forth lyrics, like whatever,
Hmm.
and actually many years later Tesla did a pretty cool version of this too
Really? I
on
should
their
know that because I'm a big Tesla
well,
fan, but I don't know that.
they did a pair of covers albums called Reel to Reel, Volume One and
That's right.
Two,
Yep.
and this
Yep.
was this was one of them. I don't know what volume it's on, but anyway, yeah, this
Okay.
is remember
Yeah,
this one well.
I know them for so alive. So this is the first I heard about them. So I'll definitely look that up later.
Yeah,
46. He's back, baby. Sting. Fortress Around Your Heart, which might not be on this record. Oh, it is. It is on his greatest
yeah.
hits.
This is one of my
Uh
favorites of his solo songs. This is a
yes.
great song.
This is the video where he's playing the bass in black and white at the beginning, right?
Yeah, and it's like they're trying to get him out of retirement for
Yeah, that's
one
right.
more
Yeah, yeah,
song
yeah.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
and he was
Yeah.
all of like
So
34 at this time.
right. Right.
Yeah,
So I once saw Sting perform All for Love of Brian Adams at MSG in New York City in April '94. Sting was
cool.
playing next door, this solo show. Brian was headlining MSG, and we're like, man, maybe Sting will show up. Sure enough, he did. So I might have seen the only
Awesome.
time they ever performed it together. So that just popped in
Yeah.
my head. So yeah, Sting, that first record is just a monster. The guy went from the Police to a great
Yeah.
solo record,
Yeah.
just an icon. He's great.
My wife's a huge Sting fan. We saw him 3 years ago. He was still great.
He's
Yeah,
real great. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Number 45. Now this is a band that requires some explanation. Band's called FM, and the song's called Just Like You. It's down three this week. Now, this is not. There's a band in the U. There was a hard rock band in the UK called FM. This is not the same band, which is why I think in North America their albums were came out under the name FM UK.
Okay.
FM, the Canadian FM, started out as more of a prog band. They started out in the late 70s. They toured with Rush a lot, and they were good friends with those guys.
Mhm.
So this song is actually quite a poppy song for them, but not. It's not like boy band pop. It's a catchy song. This is
Right.
probably their highest charting song, but it's not really how they started. But anyway, that's a little
Okay.
bit about that band.
And they got a decal next to them. That means a million record seller.
No, are you looking at that circle?
Yeah.
Okay, let me explain that to you. This is the Canadian chart. I see this all the time, so I take it for granted. Any one of those songs where you see a circle next to them means
Hmm.
that the song in some way qualifies as Canadian content because up here in
Oh, okay.
Canada, the
Yep.
government enacted a law in the early 70s that says that all radio stations and television stations have to play a minimum
Uh,
amount of Canadian content. And it doesn't necessarily have to be. So the MAPL or Maple, that stands for music artist, producer, and lyrics. So if at
mhm.
least half of that is full, it qualifies. So that's you can have a non-Canadian artist record a song written by a Canadian and it will count. And that
Wow.
happens a lot. So where you see it, where the P isn't filled in, that means it was produced either by a non-Canadian or it was produced
Okay.
outside of Canada. But
Hmm.
that's what that means. Yeah. So though there's no certifications here, but that's what that refers to.
Okay.
And the
That's
other
really cool.
weird thing. So we're in late '85. You'll see like the box with the musical note next to most of the songs.
Probably means a video is out, right?
That means a video was out, even
Right.
though some of these songs did have a video, but it's just the video wasn't out at the time that this magazine came out. Really,
Okay.
a real snapshot in time. So
Okay. That's cool.
yeah,
Billboard had the same thing.
yeah. So that's what that means right there. That's about
Very cool. I
yeah,
remember I remember hearing about that rule now that you mentioned I have heard that, but I would not
yeah.
have pieced that together. So I think thank you for that very cool explanation. It's cool to know that. 44, Bruce Springsteen off one of the biggest records of all time. I'm Going Down from Born in the USA, which spun off 7 top 10 singles. This was,
I
I guess,
believe this
near
was
the
the
end of it.
sixth because my
Yeah,
hometown was next.
number 7. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, what can you say about this? It's got the most misunderstood song of all time.
Yeah.
Bruce wanted to make a great pop record, and by God, he did. And my wife and I saw him do this whole record start to finish at closing down Giant Stadium in New Jersey in
Wow.
2009. Yeah, very
Wow.
cool. Very cool. Did this whole record and then did like a whole nother set because he's Bruce.
Yeah.
Uh, and if you're a certain age, mine down here, you got this on tape at your parents' house. You got this, you upgrade the CD. You might have the record version. Great record, and the guy knew what he was doing. And he's still out there, he's still touring. So great song, great record, still good.
At number 43, we have Montreal's Gino Vanelli with Hurts to Be in Love. This was a ballad. This down 10 this week. This is from his album Black Cars. Now, this album was a comeback for him in Canada. Hadn't been out, had any songs out in like 4 years at this point. He was big in the late 70s in the States with songs like Living Inside Myself was the early 80s, but he had like I Just Want to Stop.
Yep.
And, Black Cars, the title song from this album, was a huge hit here in Canada and is probably his best known song up here. In the States, it peaked at 42, so it was almost a hit, but it didn't break like I'm sure everybody was hoping it would. And I think this
Yeah.
song reached 57 on Billboard. So he
Okay.
made a dent. It was probably it was about the last time that he did in the States. So there you go.
I remember, like, I didn't know the name when I was looking stuff up before we got on this, but then I looked them up. Oh yeah, I know those songs. Again, they talk about your parents' back seat, right?
Yeah,
You're gonna know those songs in the late 70s, early 80s. There, yeah, those are, I love those. Those are great songs. 42. This is
yep,
great. Brian Adams with Tina Turner. It's Only Love.
yep,
If
yep,
you can look, you probably can't see it. This is tape from packaging the CD 1,000 times. I've been moving the last 30 years.
yeah.
I got this on tape. I got the
I c-
box set.
yeah.
I
Yeah, the
got the
box
tape.
the box set with all those extra tracks is fantastic. It's
Yep,
almost another album's worth of
it
songs.
is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. And this is to me is I was thinking this before we talked. Like it's like this tape had two lives for me because it came out in 85 or 84. And
Yeah.
obviously it was a huge tape for 84, 85. And then Brian got a little serious for Into the Fire. And in that period of time, I was kind of like into baseball cards and stuff like that. So I didn't fall out of touch with them, but I didn't wasn't as into the Fire as I was Reckless.
Right.
1991 hits. Everything I do it for you is a huge hit. Just as I'm graduating high school, but Wake Up the Neighbors is like 3 months out from coming out. Right? Didn't come out until September. So I went back to Reckless that summer, and in my car, my parents' car, that is nonstop, just every time, every trip with my buddies, and I got a picture of the tape on here. I won't show it to you, but I went to my dad's last week, and I there's the tape still there. So I've had this on tape, CD, box set. But just like to me, like I loved it in 8045, and I loved it even more in 91. Waiting for Wake Up the Neighbors. Just I couldn't say enough good things about Reckless. And what a great song with a great singer with Tina. At the peak of her second era, right? At the peak of her
Yeah.
comeback.
Big time.
Ah,
Big time.
great record. I love it to death. So and it's on its way up, and I will listen to that tonight because I love it.
And as promised, he's back. Corey Hart at
Yep.
number 41, up from 60 with Everything in My Heart, the third single from Boy in the Box. This was a ballad. I think it only peaked at 30 in the States. He peaked really quickly in the States.
Yeah, yeah,
Unfortunately, that happens with so many Canadian artists. Not everybody can be Brian Adams or Loverboy
right.
or just sustain like that. But he had a good run. But yeah, this week it's at 41 this week, and probably the biggest jump I've seen of any song.
Yep, 19 spots. It's funny you say that because I was just thinking that the old law rule, you have your whole life to write your first record and a year to write your second. And the second record had Never Surrender, which is just a great song with a great video. And I remember thinking, okay, this guy is gonna have a run. And like you said, that was pretty much it. He didn't have another hit like that the rest of his career. And but like I was kind of surprised. And like you said, it's just hard for guys like that to break down here. Number 40, kind of interesting. This follows up 4 spots higher than Springsteen. John Cougar Mellencamp with Small Town from Scarecrow, up 18 spots. And I think peaked at number 2 or 3 in the states.
Yeah.
Like you were saying last week with Lance, he kind of pivoted here towards a more serious, earnest heartland rocker in the Springsteen Seeger vein. And the first single, as you noted, "Lonely All Night," a fun rocker, didn't really have didn't sense what was coming. "Small Town," it's a little different. And then, of course, "Ran the Scarecrow," it
Yeah.
was a super serious song, but a great song. And I'm from a smallish town in Connecticut. I always think of it when I hear this song, and as good a classic song as you're going to get from, as you know. Now he's got 3 names. He used to have 2. Now he's got 3. Soon he'll have 2 again. But in the peak John Cougar Mellencamp phase, this is as good as it got. So "Small Town" on its way up, I sure to a real high peak at number 40.
Yeah. At number 39, this was a controversial song. Some radio
Yep.
stations wouldn't play it. I think it only peaked at 38 in the US. I'm going to guess it peaked higher in Canada because this week it's jumping from 51 to 39. Artists
Yep.
United Against Apartheid and Sun City. Now this had Springsteen, this had Hall and Oates, it had Pat
Yep.
Benatar, it had Bono, it had I think Joey Ramone was on it. It had a ton of like it wasn't quite as big as We Are the World, but it had a lot of big names on it. And it was, I think that this was basically the brainchild of little Steven Van Zandt, I want to
Yes.
say.
Yep. Yep.
So
Little
yeah.
Stevie. Little Stevie. Yep.
And as you know, I mean, I'm just a kid growing up in suburban Eastern Canada. I'd never heard the word apartheid before. I had
Yep.
no concept of what it meant. And that video was like really eye-opening. And but yeah, what a catchy song too. Like it was anthemic and
Right.
you could just picture I, like you just
Right.
picture singing it.
Right.
But yeah, and it's not a song you hear much anymore, but it was a great song.
I heard it once last year or so on 80s on 8 as a lost hit. I'm like, holy moly, I remember this
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, the chorus is so anthemic. I ain't gonna play Sun City. Great song for a great cause. Number 38, Madonna would "Dress You Up" from "Like a Virgin," which is such a huge record that only plays 2 songs on her first greatest hits, and this is not one of them. And it hit number
Wow.
5, at least on here,
Yeah.
number 5. It's on its way down street from 36,
Yeah.
from 28 to 36. But this is, I think, the third single off the record. It went "Like a Virgin," "Material Girl," I think "Dress You Up," then "Angel," and "Dress You Up" and "Angel" are on the greatest hits. The kind of compromise, I think, is they put "Into the Groove" on there, which came out in between
Right. Yeah.
on
And
the movie.
yeah, that's a song that's my wife and I did a video on best known songs from the 80s that never hit the top 40 because that couldn't
Right, it wasn't a
there was
single.
some stupid rule that it couldn't chart, and
Yeah,
yet I remember hearing it on the radio all the time.
yeah, great song. So that's
Yeah.
number 38 going
Yeah.
down.
Number 37. This was a big hit for him, but you don't hear it much anymore. Up from 45. Elton John with "Wrap Her Up." This is from his album Ice on Fire. I think that yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that it's kind of a duet with George Michael, this song, or he
Yes,
sings on parts of
I
it.
think so.
But
Yeah,
yeah, this was so this week it's 45 up to 37.
yep. I can hear the chorus now that I see it, but I would never have guessed that song if you gave me 1,000 guesses before this.
Yeah.
Number 36, a really good R&B singer, Freddie Jackson with "You Are My Lady" from the record "Rock Me Tonight." Real good, up 3 spots. Just a real good crooner, good
Yeah, I
slow dance song.
you don't hear from him anymore. Like he for
No,
about a year he had 2 or 3 big songs, but that then he kind
yep.
of disappeared.
Yeah, he
Uh
had a really good run for that year, and
yeah.
just a good crooner, good songs, and this is one of them for sure.
Number 35 up to this. I remember this song vaguely just because
I
I
don't.
listened to the radio all the time back then. And I knew him because of Ghostbusters. So when they said the
Right.
name Ray Parker Jr., I was like, oh, okay, he's got a new song. "Girls Are More Fun" from his album Sex and the Single Man. So that kind of says everything right there. Um,
I
I don't know if this were to come on, if I'd know I probably would know what it was at first, but there you go.
I don't know this song at all. I know Jamie was a hit in '84.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
the Police-esque song, "I'll Never Get Over Something," "Can't Get Over Loving You," whatever it
I
was,
just
is a
can't.
huge
Yeah,
hit.
yeah, yeah. I remember that one.
Which
Yeah.
is uh, and this song, I don't think he got sued for this song, right? Like
That is
Ghostbusters, they wanted to
that
drug.
is correct. That is correct. Yeah.
That's
Uh-huh.
right. So
Yeah.
34. What a run for Aretha on this chart. Up from 35. "Who's Zooming Who?" Again, the second single, obviously from the record, "Who's Zooming Who?" And I like this song. I love this song. I mean, maybe it's just I don't hear
Catchy.
as much as
Yeah.
I heard "Freeway of Love,"
It's
but
it's
like
catchy. Yeah.
I love this song.
And who
Yeah, great
knew?
chorus.
Way back in '85, they predicted what we're doing right now. We're zooming.
That's right. Who's zooming who? Who's zooming who knew? That's right. That's right. Great song. So, terrific song. I don't think that song's about communication like this, but it's a great song.
No, no, yeah.
And I'll
Zooming
hear it
is
anytime it
a
comes on.
stand-in for, yeah. Um,
Exactly.
at number 33 down 10, again, we also heard from them together, but here are Eurythmics with
That's right.
There Must Be an Angel from their album Be Yourself Tonight.
Yep. Great record. Great record. And there it is. It's a more proof of it there.
Yep.
Number 32. Uh Loverboy. Loving every minute of it. Oh, that's a great single. Off this obviously the self-titled out off the
Album of the same
album the
name,
same
yeah.
name. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Believe this is their first top 10 hit, correct?
It was our only top 10 hit. Yeah,
Yeah.
peaked at
Uh,
number 9. And if you look
yep.
at the circle there, you'll see that the M and
Yep.
the L are not filled out.
Right.
That's
Artist and producer.
because this song was written by Mutt Lange.
Mutt Lange. Yep. Yep.
So, but actually, this is funny because I think this is just something that gets missed. The P shouldn't be filled out either, because Lovin' Every Minute of It, most of Loverboy's albums in the '80s were all produced by Bruce Fairbairn, but the
Mhm.
Lovin' Every Minute of It album was produced by Tom Allen.
Okay. Not Canadian.
Now he produced it in Vancouver, but
Okay.
technically this song should not qualify as CanCon because really only the
Interesting.
artist playing it is Canadian. But
Yeah. I can tell you real quick. We saw Loverboy in 2013, playing with Night Ranger. Night Ranger opened. Loverboy finished out at like a state fair in upstate New York, and they were great. They played like an hour, and then people were into it. And then they did. You heard the cowbell
yeah,
for Work of the Weekend. I swear, it's like 30,000 people were there. It was great. And they got the God bless them. They got the huge this hit that people are gonna love until the end of time. So
yeah.
we go back to our hotel, and I'm carrying my daughter's a year old at that point, carrying her crib down to the car with me. And I walk by Paul Dean,
Oh,
and
cool.
he's making popcorn in the lot in the hallway, and we're sharing a floor. So I said, "Hey, great show tonight." I said, I thought about screaming out like what's Friday night from.
Oh, yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's like, oh, we used to play that back in the day." You can tell, this guy might be a
Yeah.
little weird, but he knows his deep cuts. So talk for a minute, and I said, "Yeah, great show, great seeing you." So we get back to our room, and like an hour later, my daughter is crying because she can't sleep. She's a year old. I said, "Honey, keep it down. Loverboy's trying to sleep." So that's my Loverboy. I saw
Yeah.
Loverboy, Paul Dean in the hallway getting popcorn.
I saw them. I've seen them a couple of times. I saw them in 2016, and then I saw them just a couple of years ago, 2023. They were great both times. Like just
Who
solid.
who just seen within 23? I saw them in 20 around then
I saw
too.
them in
REO?
23. No, up here they headlined, and I don't know if you know who Kim Mitchell is.
Yes. Go for
Yeah,
soda,
so
right?
yeah, so
Yeah,
Kim
yeah.
Mitchell's a huge star. Like he was huge in Canada, right? He opened for
Yeah.
Loverboy, so that was a great double bill. When I
Okay.
saw
That's
them in
pretty cool.
2016, I don't think anybody opened for them. I think it was just
That's great.
what that was a car show, I think, and they were just part of the
Okay.
so
That's very cool.
yeah. So number 31, Paul Young, and I'm gonna tear your playhouse down. This was the follow-up single to Every Time You Go Away, huge hit. This wasn't quite as big. This week it drops from wow, big drop. 16 down
Yeah.
to 31.
That song rocked. You come on. He had that song. The previous song was a ballad. He had "Come Stay
Yeah.
with Me" 2 years before. This one, "I'm Gonna Tear Your Playhouse Down." This one
Yeah.
rocked. I remember that.
Something I didn't know about Paul Young for a long time. This song, like a lot of his songs, are covers. He did a
Didn't
lot
know
of
that either.
covers.
I did not
Yeah.
know that. Yeah.
Now I don't know who
"Old
did this
Girl" was a
originally,
big hit.
yeah, and
Yeah.
obviously every time you go away is a Hall and Oates
Right.
song. But then he
Yep.
did Wherever I Lay My Hat. Yeah,
Yep.
he Love of the
Yep.
Common People. He did a lot of covers.
Oh, and that's the other guy that played with John Cafferty and Bruce Springsteen
Oh,
and
there you go. And
and Rick Springfield.
that totally
He
makes
played with them.
sense.
Yeah, he
Right
played with them
time,
this summer.
right
Yep.
time period.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Number 30, we just referenced him, "Lonely All Night" by John Cougar Mellencamp, off Scarecrow. Again, like we said, this is the single that didn't really hint at the depth of Scarecrow, but a great lead single. Just a great summer song. I'm a summer
Yep.
'85 vividly watching this video 24/7. Great song and great video.
Yeah, he's just sitting on his front step.
Yeah,
He's got his guitar and a
yeah,
little tiny little amp.
yeah.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend comes up there's like, and she talks to him like, what are we doing? I don't know. We just start playing the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh, at number 29, this is the year, like we already talked about Power Station, Duran
yep.
splintered in different
Split.
directions. So,
Yep.
um, Arcadia, this was Simon Le Bon and Nick Rhodes. So, I mean, it still sounded, I mean, because it was him
Great
singing, it
song.
still sounded a lot like Duran Duran. But
Yeah.
uh, the song Election Day was a top 10 single, and this week it's up from 36 to 29.
Yep, great song. And so read The Rose, good record. Yep. So 28, this is another one I'm going to volley to you. Live is Life by Opus from the record Up and Down. It's up 8 spots to 28. I don't know this song. I don't know if they are
This,
where they're based from.
I think they're, I don't know if they're German. This
Okay.
song was a minor hit in the States too, because I remember hearing it. It was like, Life is life, da da da
Oh,
da
all
da.
right, I can hear that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear that now. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the only song
I
I
can hear
know
that now.
from them, but that's the one.
Okay, I can hear that now.
Yeah. Number 27, up 2 spots, Jane Siberry and One More Color. Now, she was obviously a Canadian artist, Canadian singer, songwriter. Now, if I had to make a very, very superficial comparison, she was sort of like Kate Bush, maybe not quite as
Okay.
eclectic, but
Hmm.
or Tori Amos. Well,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
not even
Yep.
maybe not even that eclectic, but she was kind of in that vein. It wasn't, it definitely wasn't just pop songwriting.
Right. Right. 26. Oh, great pop songwriting. Say You, See Me,
Oh
Lionel
yeah.
Richie. The LP here says Lionel Richie, but as we know, it's the first of two songs we're going to hear from the White Knight soundtrack on this
Yeah, that's a
countdown.
mistake.
This is
That's a
yeah,
mistake in there listing that. Yeah.
this is 15 spots, number 26, and it's third week on the chart, so you know this one. Again, another song like as soon as you heard it, that's going to number one.
Yeah.
And White Knights had two number one songs and didn't do great, if I remember correctly, as a movie. It was okay, but it wasn't the blockbuster you'd expect from two top 10, two number one songs. Always got a kick out of this song. It's real slow. And then
Oh
in the
yeah, and
end,
then the
just speeds
midsection
it
is
up. Yeah.
nothing, and it doesn't last very long.
It's over.
So yeah, but
Like, right, like
you can't help but sing along with it though.
a
It's
great
Lionel.
song, great song.
Yeah,
And Lionel, yeah, this is Lionel's epic run from 80, what, 82 to right now, Dance on the Ceiling. So another
yeah,
guy just had an incredible run for in the 80s. So
yeah.
I'm sure it's going number one up north as well, because it hit number one up here too. So
Probably, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Number 25. This, a lot of people laugh at this.
It
Mick
was fun.
Jagger and David Bowie dancing the street. Yeah, it's fun, and I think this had something to do with Live Aid. I think this
Yes,
was like proceeds from this, so it was for a good cause.
yes,
I think more
yep,
people laugh at the video than anything.
right,
You know,
right.
but this week it drops from 13 down to 25.
And you look at the record, it says LP NA, non-hackable, because it was just
Yeah,
a single.
it was just a single. Yeah, it was didn't
Yep,
belong to an album for either of them.
yep. I think they wanted to do it like one guy singing it in one Philly and one guy singing it in London in
Yeah,
'85, but that was impossible. Today, it'd be a piece of cake.
you could
But I
kind of
think that
do
was the
it
plan.
today.
Yeah, I think that was the plan. I could be wrong, but you're
Yeah,
right. It was definitely something to do with Live Aid.
that was
And
overreaching for sure.
yeah, yeah. In 20, 40 years ago, you couldn't pull that off.
No.
24 down from 12. Another Long Island reference here I get to make. I Got You, Babe, UB40 with Chrissy Hynde and the Pretenders. Their cover, obviously, the Sonny and Cher song. If you ever see the video, uh, the live version is recorded at Jones Beach Amphitheater on Wantagh, Long Island, which is about 20 minutes from where I live. And they do a video. There's a interview with the WLIR interviewing the band. It's a huge station down here when I was in college. So that's my. I like the
Oh,
video
that's
more than
cool.
I like the song.
I remember it was a live
Yeah,
video. Yeah.
yeah. I like the
This
song. Who doesn't like the song? But the video
this
I
was
just
the
love because
this was the first time I ever heard this song.
yeah.
I
Same. Oh
didn't.
yeah, same here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My parents are like, oh, we know that song. Like, how do you know
Yeah.
that song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At number 23, up four, ABC and Be Near Me. Now, I mean, obviously this went on to be a top 10 single. What I think of this video is the song is the video where they had these really weird instruments and
Yeah.
dressed kind of weird. It was shot in a kind of funny way, but they were a band obviously that understood video very well.
They were fun. They were fun. They
Yeah.
got not rock, but a fun band for sure.
Yeah.
22. Yeah, 22. I believe this is our last top 40 hit.
Yeah.
Soul Kissed by Olivia Newton-John, off the same record, the same name. Again, if you are our age, one of your all-time crushes. It's a beautiful woman, and sadly we lost her a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But again, another person we talk about just couldn't. At some point, I guess maybe the market runs out of steam on you, because she just couldn't had hit after hit after hit after hit. And this is it. In 1985, you think, okay, she's going to have like much more hits. And then this was kind of it. She did some
Yeah.
acting. And so I remember the song. I don't know it very well, but I remember it kind of in a slow burn ballad. But this is about where it peaked down here as well. Maybe inching the top 20,
Yeah.
not much further.
Yeah.
Not much further.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Number 21, this
Ooh,
was the first single from the follow-up to their huge comeback album Eliminator. ZZ Top
oh
with
God, so
Sleeping
good.
Bag. Still one of my
Yep,
favorite songs by them. I know it's just full of effects, but it's just a cool song. It's got a cool
it
vibe to
is.
it. It's up this three to number 21. I know it was a top 10 single in the States. I'm not sure where it got
Yep.
up here.
Totally fun video, and the woman, the girlfriend is the woman from Nightmare on Elm Street, Heather Langenkamp.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So 20, speaking of movies, One of the Living, we just talked about this. Tina Turner from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Heavy, heavy song for Tina could do heavy. Better
Yeah,
Be Good to Me was an all-time great song. And this is a hard rock song.
I would
And it
think
got to
so. Yeah.
15 over here, got to 15 down here. It's up to 20 from 22 there. And I love that song. Like you said, you like We Don't Need Another Hero. This one, you're turning it up because you don't hear it a lot.
Yeah,
You hear it. Yeah.
exactly. It's kind of a forgotten song from her.
Yep. Great song.
Holding at 19 this week. I'm not sure if that's where it peaked or not, but this was the last single from the Reckless album, and it's actually the first song on the album, Bryan Adams and
Yep.
One Night Love Affair. And what's funny is that I don't ever remember seeing a video for this song back in the day, but there is one. I just
There
don't ever
is one.
remember seeing it. I didn't see it till the age of YouTube, and I'm like, why didn't Much Music play this video?
Right. Yeah. Same here. I didn't definitely not see it MTV back in the day. And again, like you said, it might have been like Don Henley. We've got 8 singles off this record. We're done.
Yeah.
We're not. But I've seen I think on MTV Classic once in a
Yes.
great while. Like
It's just a
holy,
live
yeah,
performance, but yeah.
kind of like Heaven. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Probably shot
Great
at the
song.
same time.
Yeah, great song, great record.
Yeah.
It's one of the best records of all time.
Yeah.
18. This is a fun one because it's been popular again. Running Up That
Yeah.
Hill by Kate Bush from the record Hounds of Love. And my daughter's about 50 feet that way and is 12 years old. So of course everyone's into Stranger Things, and so we got into that. It was cool hearing her peers sing a song I remember when I was a kid, non-ironically.
It was really cool to see the resurgence that this song had,
Yeah,
and this song only peaked at 30 in the States.
yeah. It wasn't a big hit. Wasn't
Yeah,
a big hit.
Much Music played a lot of Kate Bush's videos, but obviously she was huge in the UK. But
Yep,
this was her, her best known song all over the
yep.
world.
And
Yeah, it was
and just
great, and the way they used it in Stranger
right,
Things was
right,
really good too. It didn't
right.
feel
Forced.
gratuitous.
Right,
Like didn't feel forced. It felt natural
right,
because it's a
right.
different kind of song and it fit the
Yep.
vibe. And yeah, very well done.
There's just serious stuff going on, and
Yeah.
so well done. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of we were kind of late to Stranger Things. I'm like, this can't be as good as you think. Oh no, that was as good as I thought it would be in terms of the run up that hill reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Brought back a lot of great songs, really.
They really did. They
Yeah.
brought back Extreme. We go. That's on our top
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. Although that was out of time, but that anyway.
Right, right, right,
That was
right,
supposed to be 86 and they're playing it from 89. Anyway.
right, right.
Number 17, huge song.
Oh wow, a huge
Up from
leap.
34 to 17. Now, I thought this song peaked earlier, but I guess not. I guess it must have just been on the charts for a while. But Mr. and Broken Wings, and they are another band, sort of like the Hooters. They were a one album wonder because this
Yeah,
Welcome to the Real World had three big hits. It was a platinum album, and they were everywhere. And then they just couldn't keep it up.
that was it. Yep. The record hit number one, which is hard to
Yeah,
do. The songs they had so many hit songs on the record. People just keep buying the record.
yeah.
And I
So
think the
it would
story with this
keep.
guy, right, right. So Welcome to the Real World went to number one, and then Kyrie came out and it stayed at number one,
Yeah,
and then Is This Love came out. I
yeah.
think the story with this guy, Richard Page, was that he was offered the position in Chicago after Peter Cetera left. And he
He
said,
was
no,
also off. He was also offered the lead singer job in Toto.
wow, I
Like
didn't know
like
that.
he was an in demand. He was a very in demand session singer. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was on. But he said no, I got my own thing going.
And it worked out. That's great.
Yeah,
Two number one singles and top 10.
yeah.
16. I don't remember this being a big hit. I remember this being a big hit, but not a big chart hit. I could be wrong. And it's up to 31 this week. Is Tarzan Boy by Baltimora. I
Yeah.
can't sing it all, but that everyone knows that song. Don't know anything else by the guy, the artist, but just a perfect 80s song. I mean, it just doesn't get any
It's
better
a
than that.
perfect one hit wonder. And
Yep.
the fun thing about this, and we're talking, I'm referencing a time that was pre-internet, so you didn't have just
Right.
instant access to everything. But this song kind of had a minor comeback in
Yes.
early 1993 because it was used in a commercial. And I
Hmm.
can't remember what the commercial was for, but they started to play it again. Now, at this time, there was probably a 3, 4 month period where this was like one of my favorite songs. But
Hmm.
somehow and probably because there was never any follow up, I totally forgot about it. Like, and I mean, it just left my brain, and I
Right,
totally
gone.
forgot about it. So when I heard it again, it was like memory unlocked. It was the
Yep.
weirdest feeling. It was like, I know
I know
this.
this song.
How do
Yeah.
I? Oh, it's Tarzan. And automatic Baltimora. That name popped
Right.
into my head. I'm like,
Right.
it came at all. But what I couldn't place, and I had to look this up. I was going to radio college at the time. I had to look it up in the library. Thank God I found an old billboard. I couldn't place the time period. I'm like, when is this song from? It's obviously the 80s, but 84, 85, 80. I couldn't place the
Right.
time period. I had to look it up to say when did this peak? Because I
Mhm.
couldn't I couldn't place it in, but it was just weird to have it come back like that. It's still a
So
great song.
they still a great song. And like I said, 80s song, you know exactly where you were when you heard it the first time, junior high school, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yep.
Number 15, another song from Platinum Blonde. This was the second single from their album Alien Shores. Another big song from them, Situation Critical. It's up from 30 to 15. So yeah,
Well,
this was a huge band at this time in Canada.
that's a big leap.
Mhm.
You're going to the top five for sure there. 14, Holding. I guess it must be on its way down because it's on the chart for 21 weeks. Take on Me by Aha, one of the great videos of all time, of course.
Yep.
Any top five video of all time. From the record, Hunting High and Low. Hit number one here, late 85. I think it was right on the time. We have a few number one songs in this coming up in this back end of the countdown. For my 2 cents, their best song is a second single, "The Sun Always Shines on TV."
That's a good
I
song. Yeah.
love
That's a
that
good
song. I
song.
love a Take on Me, but Take on Me you see 1,000 times. I kind of
Yeah.
get not tired of it. I'm like, how is and that hit 20? Which surprised me. I didn't think it was that high. That song is so good. That video is so good. They made a sequel to Take on Me, but it just kind of like did okay, but not great. And I'm like, maybe that's a band whose first hit was so
Yeah.
groundbreaking, it just leaves you no room to go anywhere else. I
Yeah.
love The Sun Always Shines on TV, and I loved it before. Apparently, one of my favorite TV shows is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and apparently that was the inspiration for the title. The guy was writing the show said,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I didn't know that until
I
recently,
didn't.
and
Okay.
but I love that song anyway. So great song, and I'm gonna guess it's on its way down because it's 21 weeks.
I would say
Uh,
because that came out in the summer.
yeah, and the number
Yeah.
one hit here for sure. So
Yeah.
great song, great song.
Number 13, band that was on the comeback trail, Heart and
Yep,
Never from their self-titled album. Um, this week it's up 20 to 13. I love this song. It's anthemic. It's a fist pumping song.
yep.
It's just got a cool, it was cool to, that I'd never heard of this band before until I heard What
Same
About
here,
Love. I'd never
same
heard of
here.
them. So
Exactly. Yep,
I mean, this album was a number one album, 5 times platinum. So, um,
yep. That's
what
so
can you
funny because
say?
they were new to me too. I saw you something about Passion Works. I'm like, I never heard it.
I'd
Never
never,
these
at
guys.
that point in
Yeah,
time, I'd never heard
yeah,
Crazy on You. I'd never heard
yep,
Magic Man or Barracuda. Those that meant nothing to me.
yeah.
I didn't hear those till much later.
Crazy. And
Yeah,
but yeah, that was now you could tell slow build. What About Love was a big hit, top 10.
yeah,
Never was number four. You just knew the third single was gonna be the ballad. And sure enough,
yeah,
These Dreams, number one
yeah,
single, number one record, and they're back.
yeah.
I'll go on, sorry.
Yep,
What
even
was it?
Nothing at All was a top 10 single. So like
Yes,
they
yes. With
really they made good on the comeback. I mean,
such a good record. The
yeah,
cat in the video is a great video.
yeah,
Number 12, we're back, baby. St. Elmo's Fire.
yeah,
Really only two good songs on this record, but like I said, what a if you're gonna have two songs,
yeah.
this is maybe my favorite instrumental of all. No, that's another top podcast, but this is up there for my favorite instrumental. The love theme from St. Elmo's Fire at number 12 by David Foster, who is Canadian. Is he Canadian?
Oh
Am I
yeah,
reading this
oh
correctly?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yep. I love this song. It just it's a perfect love theme. And just it was a hit number 15 here, which is the big deal because this is we're gonna get to another theme, another instrumental in a minute. But this is
Yeah,
the first instrumental I've never been a hit.
we
Yeah.
were coming to the end of the era of instrumental songs becoming hits because
Yep.
we had a lot of them, and we had Axel F.
Yep.
And we're going to have another big one here.
Yep.
So yeah, so at number 11, it's holding this week in the charts for 13 weeks. I'm sure that it must have just paused, maybe on its way down, but one of the biggest albums of the 80s, Brothers in Arms, Dire Straits, and Money for Nothing.
I love the fact that's the first CD to sell a million records, million copies.
Yeah, yeah,
I love that. Finally, yeah, yeah, that was great. I had this tape from my dad's, but I don't have it with me. The Miami Vice theme, the instrumental at 10, down from 5, from obviously the soundtrack. And God, 80. I don't was Miami Vice a popular show for you guys?
Oh
Like it
yeah.
was a
Yeah.
like it just out of to me it was like the perfect time because '84 was a year of like Footloose came out and Streets of Fire came out. It was a year where like you had music videos as movies basically, and
Yeah.
Miami Vice was a music video as a TV show, except it wasn't just that. It had really good writing. And I won't go into. I love
And
Miami
and
Vice as a show.
and you're right. I mean, there's so many musicians had
Yeah,
cameos on there. I mean,
I
Phil
love
Collins,
that.
Ted Nugent, Frank Zappa,
Glenn
Gene
Fry.
Simmons. Yeah,
Yep. Power Station. John Taylor and Andy
that's
Taylor were
right.
in there.
Yep.
Michael DeBar, I think, was in there. Um, but one of the great all-time debut episodes. Just the guy Sonny and Tubbs driving down the street in the air tonight, and just a perfect theme. I mean, John Hammer. I mean, God,
Yeah.
just a great and a short thing. He banged it, 2.5 minutes, perfect.
Yeah.
And a great soundtrack. And just there was a year and a half. Miami Vice was the absolute be all end all of everything.
Well, I mean, the TV show had two volumes of
That's right.
soundtracks, so
That's right.
that says a lot.
This one hit number one. The second one came out and started to peter out a little bit. This first
Yeah.
one was sold 5 million records
Yeah.
at
At
least.
number nine, this would have been her second single from her debut album, Whitney Houston, Saving All My Love for You. It's holding this week at 12 weeks in the chart. Not sure where it got here in Canada. I know it was a number one song in the States.
Yep. Uh, Beautiful voice. I mean, just the perfect voice. She was great. We're gonna stick with in the Arista family here with number eight. Lay Your Hands on Me by Thompson Twins from the record Here's to Future Days. And I just want to say nobody did tapes like Arista. These were the best. This is not Thompson Twins. This is Crocus. This is the
Yeah.
first time you ever heard Crocus and Thompson Twins in the same sentence. But I
Yeah.
love the Arista Red. Like I'm
They
buying
only
that. I
look
don't care
like
what
that
it
in the
is.
States. They didn't look like that in
Really?
Canada at
Oh
all.
wow.
Yeah.
I love how they looked, and I was talking about Crocus tape. I finally did. So here you go, Crocus. But Thompson Twins were on Arista, and
This is a
love that
good
song.
song that you never
Great
hear
song.
now, even though it was a
Yeah,
top 10 hit.
great song. And they followed up with Revolution cover of the
That's right. Yeah.
Beatles. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love them. Good band. Yeah.
Number seven. This is a great song. Simple Minds from their album Once Upon a Time and Alive and Kicking. And every time I hear this song, I've gotta give a shout out to I think his name was Mel Gaynor, the drummer, because his
Yes.
drum track on
So
this
into it. God.
is and that big snare fill at the end of this is just
Yeah.
perfect. Um,
God.
but yeah, he gave this song a real backbeat.
Yes. Yes.
And
I love this
I love
song.
the electric piano in it. You don't hear that
Yes.
anymore. But yeah, no, this is a great song. Number
That
seven
was
up
like
from 10.
that was like two songs in one. Like you said, the electric piano kind
Kinda,
of
yeah.
slowed down a little
It
bit.
had this
And then
nice coda at the end of it.
yeah, that song hit number three down here. Should have been number one. But again, another song I banned. You can tell, like, hey, we just hit it big. We're going to do it again. Great
Yeah.
song. All time favorite. Number six, sticking with the soundtrack theme. We're just talking about You Belong to the City by the late, great Glenn Fry. This is from his solo greatest hits off Miami Vice soundtrack. Just an awesome song. And it's funny because it feels like New York City. It's about Miami. And the video is clearly in New York City, but just such a great song. And Glenn's kind of got that brooding, kind of smoking a cigarette, walking
Yeah.
down 42nd Street, wherever it is. He meets the girl and they obviously connect. Such a great song. Perfect song. And like it sounded like it was just perfect for Miami Vice, right? Because Miami Vice is that great marriage of music and images. And
Yeah.
again, Miami Vice was better than just a music video as a TV show, but that's just a perfect representation of that era. And it hit number two in the States and it should have hit number one and stayed there for 10 weeks because it's one of the best songs of the decade. And
And
it was used by the New York Mets in their 1986 World Championship video.
oh, okay. And
Yeah, yeah,
Glenn really got the most out of the Miami Vice thing because he had
he
Smuggler's
did.
Blues too. Like he had two hits out
Yes,
of it. So
yeah.
yeah.
It revived his solo career because that record, the All Nighter, did okay, but not great. Smoker's Blues came out. The video, the Miami Vice came out.
Yep.
I think
Between
reborn.
that and The Heat Is On, yeah, it
Yeah,
really, yeah.
yeah, yep, yep.
So number
Love Glenn.
five, it's down one this week. Cool and the Gang and their ballad "Cherish" from the Emergency album.
Yep. What I remember about this record is it had 7 tracks. It was only a 7-track record, but it
Yeah, that's
wasn't an EP.
must have
It
been
wasn't
a
an
couple of the
EP.
songs must have been long.
Yeah, but they had 4 hits off that.
Yeah,
I think
"Misled's" a
Joanna
great
was on
song.
that. Misled, yeah.
Yeah,
That was like their comeback record.
yeah.
Number four. Oh boy, we're gonna have a lot of comments about this one. We built this city. It's either the best song of all time or the worst best song of all time. off Knee Deep in the Hoopla. I liked it. I mean, it was
I
fun. It was
don't know why
goofy.
it gets such a bad rap compared to other songs that are. I don't know. I don't get it.
I
Now,
think
now,
people were mad because it was Jefferson Airplane. They did serious songs, and it was an offshoot of that. It's
see,
a
to
fun
me,
song.
my favorite period, I really liked the sort of almost AOR,
Yep.
like Jane and Find Your
No, I
Way
love
Back
Jane.
and
Yep.
Stranger. Like those, they had a
Yep.
really good run. They got
They did.
really pop with just the Starship stuff, although it's not enough as a good song too, the kind of
Yep.
the last that they had. But yeah, there's plenty worse songs than We Built This City.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's
Yeah.
funny because a couple of years ago, the one time that I got to see Night Ranger in concert in Guilford, New Hampshire, they were in between a version of Jefferson Starship
Yes. I know you told me that. Yep.
and Brett Michaels. So I mean, obviously, I would have liked to have seen Mickey Thomas because that guy's a freak of nature because he can still
He
sing.
is. Yeah.
But so this was the David Freeberg version, and he's in his 80s, and
It's still out there.
I
Incredible.
had no idea he sang because he's played bass, he's a multi-instrumentalist. And
Yep.
even though he wasn't involved with the band with this song, they did do it. So it's like I never thought hear this song live, but I mean they were
Right.
good. They put in a they played a short set. They opened with Find Your Way Back. That made me happy. They did
Yep.
Jane, they did White Rabbit, Somebody to Love. Like it was all good.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was a totally different era for them, but the record hit number one. They had two number one songs. Sarah was the number one
Yeah.
song with the Rebecca De Mornay in the video. And yeah, I don't change the channel when it comes on the radio, but I do. I know some people aren't happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So number three, this was a number one song for Stevie Wonder, and I think it was his last number one, last really big hit,
Yep.
"Part-Time Lover" from his album In Square Circle. And it's funny because just in recent years, and I should have picked up on this, but Luther Vandross is the guy that sings about da 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 da. That's
Huh.
Luther. So
Should know. I should know that too because Luther is
yeah,
very distinctive. Wow, I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
It's funny how Stevie like just was just a hit machine. You're right. After this, it kind of petered out.
But at a certain
Uh,
time, it's not. It sometimes it's just not your time anymore. But
right, right.
I mean, when you've had like a 20 odd year run, right, since you were a kid.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I was just running errands before our show and I heard his last top 40 hit, Overjoyed.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was an 80s lost hit in the 80s. Like, yeah, that all right, it's good
I'd
timing.
forgotten about that's the same album this was on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm almost sure it was the last single.
No, I
Number
think he
two,
remember he had that one Skeletons.
yes, that's right.
That
Late
was like
80s. You're right.
87. But yeah,
80,
but
70,
this
yep,
was
you're right.
definitely close to the end of it.
Yep, yep. Number two, down from number one last week. Oh Sheila, Ready for the
Yeah.
World off the record of the same name. I remember this. Doing some research. This was the number one for down here in Halloweenish '85, maybe a little earlier, and it was the first of 5 straight weeks which a new song hit number one. And I think it might have ended with "We Built the City." But this is a band from Detroit, I believe, and they had three hits. That's obviously the biggest one. They had another one up. They had I can't remember the song now. But they had a slow R&B number one hit in '88
Yeah,
or
they had
so.
one called Love You Down. That
Love You
was a
Down. That's it.
big,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then something radio romance or something
Oh,
something
I know what Digital Display.
digital display. Yes,
That's a
radio
forgotten
romance.
hit.
Yes,
That's
radio
Tiffany.
romance. That's right. I was going to say radio romance is Tiffany. My wife loves Tiffany. It's in my head.
Yeah.
This is a great song. I mean, again, if you're a certain age,
Yeah.
just pop all the time. You hear "Oh
Very, you can tell
Sheila."
it was
Oh,
very, they
oh.
were trying to sound like Prince. I always thought that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like Prince, you said?
I think so, yeah. The breathiness of the vocals and stuff.
Agreed. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Yeah. And now we're at number one. So you do the
Number
honor.
one, yeah. So the second of two songs from the White Knight soundtrack. Uh, the guy that was like in the middle of his like run of whether it was him solo or a duet or Genesis, Phil Collins was dominating the airwaves at this time. So
Yeah.
Separate Lives
Yep.
was a duet with Marilyn Martin, and this week it is the number one song in Canada this week
Yep.
back in 1985. This song was written by a guy by the name of Stephen Bishop, which is a name some people might know. He had the song On and On in the 70s. He also sang It Might Be You from Tootsie.
Yep.
And Marilyn Martin had a minor top 40 single after this called Night Moves.
Great song.
Nothing to do with Bob Seger, but yeah.
But a great song.
And then at a certain point, I think she did a country album, but I've never
Yeah.
heard anything more from her.
She did country. I think she might be in the gospel now. I know, or maybe Christian.
Oh,
But
maybe. Okay.
she that Nine Moves is a great song. I remember hearing her, like, how's that not a bigger hit?
Yeah.
That's a great song. But yeah,
So There you go, folks. That was the top 100 in Canada, November 23rd, 1985. Does it bring back memories for anybody out there like it does for us? Comment below. Jerry, I want to thank you for doing this. This was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I love watching the shows and talking music with you guys and guys like you. And like there's always a saying in sports, like in baseball, like guys who peak at double A are like, hey, I was a double A hitter. Thanks for letting this double A hitter talk music with you today. Thank you.
Right on. All right. And yeah, just a reminder, follow Fans in Motion. If you're a Night Ranger fan, it is a must. So guys, folks, we will see you all later. And thank you for watching this edition of Tim's Vinyl